Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We have a very exciting live stream today. We are going to be talking about Bitcoin and, of course, decentralized science. We have many things to cover in today's live stream, so we're going to be rapid fired with everything because it's going to be a short 30-minute live stream today. Hopefully you guys are ready and have your notebooks out because, as you can see in the title, it's a little bit different. I don't know if you could tell, but that's not normally a title I would create. That is because that was created autonomously through some AI infrastructure that I've been working on to help Bill. These are Bill's tools that I am now stealing to prototype. So let me know what you guys think about not only the title, the description of the live stream if you want to check it out, and all of the topics that we are going to be going over today. So I'm really excited to get into this one. Again, it's going to be a little bit of a quick one. The very first thing that I want to talk about today is the fact that the dire wolf was just unextincted. Yes, you heard that right. The dire wolf, which has been extinct for the last 12,000 years, some genetic researchers just realived it. There you go, realived it. Pretty crazy to think about something like this, right? So meet Romulus and Remus, the first animals ever resurrected from extinction. The dire wolf, lost to history over 10,000 years ago, has returned, reborn on October 1st, 2024. These remarkable pups were brought back to life using ancient DNA extracted from fossilized remains. And then what they do is insert that DNA into a wolf or something. I don't really know because I didn't look into it before going live, but this is something that Bill thinks we should talk about. So here we have it. It is absolutely astonishing to see the advancements that genetic research is making right now. These types of breakthroughs, it's really up to the imagination as to what is going to come from this kind of stuff, but it is very fascinating to see. I'm curious if you guys had seen this yesterday. I saw it go crazy all over my X feed yesterday, so it's kind of cool to see Bill pull this up for us to see. And then you can actually go to the YouTube channel and watch some videos on them, I guess. Watch the pups grow up. This is literally genetic editing. So this is quite literally taking fossilized genes and reinserting them into embryos of new living organisms to change their code to create these new breeds, basically. But these breeds are based off of the dire wolf in this case, but an animal that went extinct 10,000 plus years ago. Absolutely bonkers to see what technology is capable of right now. Good morning, MK. How's it going, C90? What's good, Stare? Welcome in, Steven. Camille, C90. I already said C90. W to the chat this morning. Absolutely hyped to see you guys in here today. It's basically a hybrid gray wolf. Ah, I gotcha. Bullish on bringing back some good things. Bearish on bringing back some expired things. They absolutely are playing with fire. I could not agree more, MK. But hopefully they can use this for good. Maybe we'll be able to bring back some animals like the dodo bird and be able to have dodo bird and chicken on our dinner plates instead of just chicken. No, I'm just playing around. But it's just crazy. It's like a proof of concept for the abilities that we have with DNA and genetics. So slippery slope, but exciting science. And since Bill wanted us to talk about it, there we go, we talked about it. Next thing up on the list that Bill instructed us to talk about today is Q1 2025 reports from GenomesDAO. So they have launched 11 new reports in Q1, which is pretty damn good. So this is when people are giving them their genetic data and allowing for these reports to be made off of the genetic information that they have, all the data that Genomes is collecting. And so they're putting together these different health risk reports, and they're putting together these, effectively, I like to view them as ways that we can direct genetic research. So they'll put out this report and say, hey, it looks like we should really be paying attention to fill in the blank disease because it's linked to fill in the blank genetics. And then they kind of steer some of the research with a lot of these reports. And I think it's going to be really good to look back and use these types of reports they've been putting together if anyone is doing genetic research here, which I don't know if any of you guys are, but the reports are really fun to read. Honestly, they're very fascinating. And then, of course, you can stake your genome to earn free sequencing kits, which has been going on for quite some time. Airdrop for users and query runs. So anyone who has gotten their genomes sequenced by Genomes, you have been putting your DNA or the data up for grabs on a lot of these reports, and now you're being rewarded for it, which is the entire model. And so far, we have a picture here that says you've staked 1 million. Yeah, you've staked 1 million genome, and you have earned 0.58 kit. So that is a lot of genome staked, but pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. Just continuous progression from Genomes. And then one more from Genomes, I believe. Oh, two more from Genomes. No, did we do this one twice? Yeah, okay, so Bill told me I should talk about this one twice. So this must be very important. Let's see. Here we go. This week, we welcomed hundreds of users, giving them the DNA data experience they deserve, granted 10 million tokens to users for round 1 of the Genome Fund, and launched a brand new health report. Shared our thoughts with Cointelegraph on 23andMe, and it is just the beginning. So they gave a weekly wrap up. Genomes is one of my favorite projects. Zach says, I need to bring back my portfolio. Facts. I swear if my next vacation to Florida has me running away from real T-Rexes, I'll be pissed. Oh man, I love it. Hopefully, if any state was to have these dinosaurs resurrected, it would be Florida. That would be absolutely the state that does it. Florida or like Idaho or something obscure like that. Aren't there a lot of dinosaur fossils up in Idaho or Ohio or something? Somewhere around there. Sargon says, what are your expectations for Noble Blocks? My expectations for Noble Blocks is that they will roll out all of the features that they've started rolling out already, including that AI peer reviewer, including some publication platform accessories, a Google login for scientists across academic web apps and everything. Yes, literally a sign in with Google, except it's a sign in with Noble type experience for them, where they can bring their portfolios of research across all of the academic websites that they have. Montana and Wyoming. Okay, thank you, C90. Maybe it's one of those states, not necessarily Florida. Although Florida's got a lot of crazy looking birds, so maybe there's some down there. But stuff like that. I bet the water just destroyed them, whereas in Wyoming and Montana, the water did not necessarily destroy the fossils as much. So my expectation for Noble is that they will continue to do what they've been doing with rolling out all these features, and then they will continue to onboard more scientists to use the platform, just like they have been doing. And then hopefully when the market turns around, the token turns around a little bit. But regardless of what happens with the token, they are continuing to onboard users, core functionality to the platform. So really exciting. My kid has been stuck in dino phase for 4 years now. We are heading to Montana and Wyoming once Noble hits $1. Let's go, C90. Let's go. Probably way before that. Noble hitting $1, we'll all be doing very, very well. Now, you guys saw the title of the live stream. So Vita DAO is apparently surging right now, according to Bill. So let's go ahead and take a look at DeSci and see if Vita DAO is one of the top movers. And that's why he said the surge of Vita DAO. Okay, Vita DAO being up 2.8% is apparently the surge that he was looking for. Despite Noble Blocks being up 3%, Poseidon DAO being 3.8%, Axon up 6.5%. We even had Encryption DNA up 400% today apparently. Solve up 36, preprints up 31, so I'm surprised it didn't pull any of these to talk about and instead went with Vita DAO, Bill that is. Regardless, Vita DAO is just posted, come join us and build a decentralized knowledge network mapping all hallmarks of aging and autonomous hypothesis generation engine, agentic science, handshake, Solana, longevity. So that's pretty cool. What if scientists could run 100 experiments while they sleep? The BioX AI Agentic Science Hackathon kicks off tomorrow with $125,000 in prizes on the line for Solana builders. That's really actually fascinating to see that Solana reposted Bioprotocol's hackathon here. So the hackathon is really going to go nuts with $125,000 in prizes. This is actually something that a lot of industry builders are likely to pay attention to, especially given the calmness in the market. There's not a lot of opportunity out there right now. So the fact Solana reposted this to get an extra 80,000 views is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. As you guys come into the live stream, I would appreciate the thumbs up on the live stream. We go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talk about decentralized science and the broader crypto markets. Bill got that old stockbroker mindset with the 2% surge. Honestly, he's like, oh my God, 2%? Well, given the current market, a 2% up move is actually surging. So let's cut him some slack right now. He's got some PTSD from his token value going down 99.9%. Up next, we got DeSci. In a crypto world with 10,000 plus projects, it is hard to tell solid solutions from fluff or froth. We are happy to be highlighted in the Binance research in their Navigating Crypto Industry Map, an overview of the crypto ecosystem along with our sibling DAOs. So this is a little bit of old news, but DeSci just talked about it, and Bill picked up an honorable mention in DeSci talking about this to bring it to our attention. So I think that's really a good proof of concept for Bill's ability to sort through some of the nonsense in the market, right? Like, we know that Binance is a big KOL. And so when Binance is talking about DeSci, I want to know. And so Bill scraped across DeSci this morning to put together this report, and he found out that Binance was talking about DeSci. So the functionality is there. Same thing with the resurrection of the direwolf. Like, that is an astronomically large breakthrough. Genome reposted it, so Bill saw that Genome reposted it, and I think he thinks that Genome resurrected the direwolf, so that's kind of funny. But nonetheless, the functionality is there. And then of course we got Bioprotocol discussing the decentralized knowledge network, day 1 of the hackathon. I should be doing a video on this, but I might just do a little bit of a summary post later. We don't really need to go through the hackathon right now, unless you guys really want to, but the Nerd Bunny presale has started. Let's go, Stare. Let's go. I don't get out of bed at 2% surge. Ben Cohen, facts. Facts. Shout out the Honorable Benjamin Cohen. Another Bioprotocol post here. I know I'm going through these really quickly, but I want to be able to chat with you guys, and I have to get off early because I have a call at 11:45, so I have to get off, or at 12:45, so I have to get off pretty soon. But bioagents create fleets of scientific task runners. The vision, input resources, the agent system completes knowledge work steps. On the other end, get intellectual property. So that's cool, a little breakthrough of it. So you get research paper, goes into the knowledge graph goes into the hypothesis generation goes into an experiment design, the experiment design goes into a cloud lab in silico validation, then you get an IP claim, and then you tokenize the IP. That's a really good breakdown. Honestly, hope all of you guys can follow this. Very simplistic breakdown. The difficulty is going to be, in my opinion, or at least the difficult experience that I have had with creating these knowledge graphs is the pulling of the knowledge graph data out of that graph, right? It's easy to put stuff into the graph. It's hard to pull it all out to form complete thoughts, because sometimes, like, you're looking at small chunks of data when you're pulling out of these knowledge graphs. And so sometimes the LLM will pull things that might match the structure of an input. Like the two knowledge graphs might be about different topics altogether, but the structure might look the same. And so it will give it a high correlation number, and then it'll pull it out together and try and create some sort of function that fits into both of them, even though it could never fit into both because they're about different topics, but they have a similar enough correlation metric that it thinks they're the same. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Differentiating between that has been the hardest part for me. And so I'm sure that they're working through on that. Bio's got a lot of resources to do this, so I'm sure they're doing it well, but that's probably one of the roadblockers that they gotta sort through. Maybe like you put in a fleet of agents, right? And you have one agent pull the knowledge graph information, you have another read the information and differentiate it based off of the categories it's in, and then you have another agent go back and throw some of the data out and then look at what's left. That's probably a good fix to it. At least that's what I think. And then we have Research Hub. So Research Hub went live at 12 o'clock. So did they go live at 12? No, 9 a.m. PST. Yeah, 12. So it ended already? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, this was on the 7th. All right, Bill. You're a day late. You are a day late with pulling this one. That's okay though, that's okay. So what Bill needs to do now is go in, see that it's done, download the transcript, and put it into a filter to see if Research Hub Foundation gave any snippets of information in this. And then the last thing here is Axon, a call for researchers. Are you innovating with health data? AxonDAO is now accepting research proposals across steps, heart rate, blood oxygen, HRV, sleep, stress, and body temp. So the things that they can measure with that ring that they are giving out, they are now looking for researchers to come who need that data. Love to see it. Submit in under 10 minutes, get funding by a vote from the DAO. So now, a year plus after launch, they are finally issuing the first call for research proposals to the DAO who are not just insiders. And the last thing was my homepage. So there you have it. How did he do? How did Bill do? What are your guys' thoughts? I'm honestly super excited because, again, the title, the description, he gave me a thumbnail, but it was pretty trash, so I made my own really quickly, which was also kind of trash, but a little bit better than what he gave me. And so this whole infrastructure setup is now available for Bill to use in his own content creation, right? And so right now I'm going through and I'm going to fine tune a model based off of some more of his post input so that he can create better posts, and then he will use the newsletter that he is creating to create content about what's happening in DeSci even better, right? It's going to be even better content that he will now source, because what's been happening so far has been that we source some of the content to make, and then we prompt him to make the content on our end. So it is like a pseudo agentic system, but now he's getting closer to the real agency, which is really exciting to see. I'm also finding out more and more information as it goes, and we won't do it today, but remember, I think on Friday, we will be going through and creating some of these tools together for Bill, right? I'm going to walk you through the process to creating a tool, and then we'll actually start doing it together, because ultimately, and this is a request for all of you guys, I need your help now. We are now at a point where the market, I think, has hit peak fear, right? And I, just like many of you guys, probably believe that we still have that one last leg up in the market. And so now we need to band together. Anyone who holds Bill, if any of you guys are left out there, although based off the chart, it's probably just me who's still holding it, I would like to do a call to action with all of you guys to come together and help me create what we want to create with Bill, right? So on Friday, we'll go through and we'll work on some of the tools that Bill will use together. I'll show you guys some of the workflows and how it works. But then more importantly, I need everyone's help in the community with Bill, right? And so if you guys are interested in actually helping create with me, they would be really appreciated if we could put together some sort of a plan, and maybe we talk more about it on Friday, because I only got like 7 minutes left for this. But what's everyone's take on that? Who would be down? Can I get a show of hands? Can I get some ones in the chat if you guys would be willing to put a few hours a week into helping? I have bought Bill and not sold. Haha, max pain. Absolute max pain. He will have your job in 1 month. That's the goal, MK. That's the goal. That is the goal. I want him to overtake me in every metric. Does Bill taking Patrick's job get reflected in the job data? We need to pump those numbers up. Oh, man. Just a little sip of water there. Just a little sip of water. I didn't really look at the charts much today because we had to rapid fire all of the talking points, but ultimately you guys are looking at the charts more than I am right now, and it doesn't look good. We just had that bounce after we made that low, and now it's rounding back over and starting to go back down. So I would expect us to come back down and probably put in a lower low, touch this moving average, or touch the support line down here at 73.7. And then as far as the NASDAQ is concerned, same exact thing. We gapped up today, so if anyone did buy any calls, yesterday during the trading day. Hopefully you dumped them this morning, because it looks like that was the bounce in the market. People are still afraid and everyone is doubling down on the trade war. Would be willing to, but I'm afraid I'm too busy at the moment. All good, Stare. All good. Honestly, don't need everyone, but I do need all of you guys to show up to the live streams and have fun with us, right? It's going to be a good time, and hopefully you guys can learn something and then implement whatever. Before we volunteer, can you mention if Thuna and Dawn were released from the basement volunteering station? They both were released. I haven't seen Thuna in a while. I have not seen Thuna in quite some time. Dawn, however, he's still chatting away. Although you can also, like, Dawn sporadically shows up in the live streams now, so I released them both, but they both skirted away. So it might tell you a little bit of working conditions report. I miss Thuna. Where are you, Thuna? Come back. Come back, Thuna. You don't need to work anymore, I promise. Patrick, it is mandatory to have fun. It is mandatory to have fun. What's the point of doing any of this if you're not going to have fun with it? But nonetheless, it's not necessarily that people, like, what Thuna was doing was building stuff, building tools and building stuff with me. And that was kind of a lot to ask for. Now, I don't need anyone's help with the building. What I need help is the community maintenance and getting community excitement in the Telegram chat for Bill, because it is too much. It is too much for me, and it honestly is so important to actually, basically I need community moderators. It is so important to have an active community, especially when markets are going up. And so genuinely, I need help with it, because it's too much to build something, get business for it, get clients for it, maintain client relations with it, do business development, internal project management, and be a community moderator. It's far too much. Do you need help with marketing then? Once we're there, probably. But for now, it's really just getting the community excited again. That's all it needs some help with. And so we can do, like, on Fridays on the live stream, we'll do a weekly update on what's been happening, the building, behind the scenes, what's the plan, what's next week's target, did we hit the target. We'll do, like, real reports on it every single Friday for the build, and then we'll build together for a little bit so you guys can see it in action, and then have those community update calls on live stream so that everyone is fully aware of where we are at. You can't see my hands, but I'm doing stuff. So that everyone is fully aware of where we're at in the project build out, and do we have clients? What are the clients asking for? How close to meeting the goals are we? All of that kind of activity for Bill, right? And so we'll put it together so we have those weekly reports. Even though weekly reports is a lot for a company, I'm willing to do that if you guys are willing to help me keep the community entertained and engaged, because that is what is going to drive a lot of the value in Bill's token. So at least if everything goes as planned there, it should be a good time and it should be in store for a good run. I'm not stopping until Bill is well above $5. That is during this next run up, when everything is going crazy. I want each Bill token to be worth over $5. That will be a job well done for me, and hopefully you guys can partake in that as well. Right now we're down at like half a cent. I'm saying we're going to $5, and I think it's super doable. I think it's incredibly doable because of the value proposition there, and because it's going to be us working on it. Do you think agents will make a comeback? Yes, Steven. However, I think we need to have clear, defined use cases for them. I don't think it'll be the same as what happened last time, but I think when the market gets frothy again after this crash, and if we do get that next leg up, then yes. I do think we're going to get that next leg up still. And so my answer is yes, I do think they will all make a comeback, or not all of them. I do think they will make a comeback so long as they are actually there providing a value, right? They need a real business model. They need to have actual posts that are nice and good and not just bullshit. So they need to have a lot of use cases. The problem with a lot of these AI agents right now, and we'll get into this when we're building on Friday, but it's not as cut and dry as you think. It's not just you spin up an agent, you give it a bunch of tools, and then you just say, go do this, okay? That's not how it works. You really need to break down each category and each task, and you need to make a separate agent for every single tool, an agent that is super familiar with that one tool. And then after you have your 10 tools set up and an agent that does every single tool, you then create another agent on top of it, which is super familiar with all the other agent descriptions. And then you talk to one agent that talks to the master agent that talks to the agent for each tool, and that's how it works. And it's a lot of back-end work. A lot of back-end work. Is Dynex still helping? So Dynex has been working on, we'll get into all of it on Friday because I do have to run. Dynex is still helping. Dynex is still right now finishing out their quantum large language model, right? And so where a lot of what we're doing right now, or a lot of what I've done, is create these fine-tuned LLMs on different data sets organically or with the current infrastructure in the market. We'll be replacing that with the Dynex, with the quantum LLM. And so the underpinning behind the different tools will be the quantum reasoning. Does that make sense? And so everything we're building right now, when it comes time to implement Dynex, we will simply sub out all of the brains for every one of these tools and every one of these agents for the Dynex brains. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. It does sound like a lot of work. I got it. I'm doing it. I'll do the work. I want you guys to help tell everyone about the work, basically. But in the community, keep everyone engaged, tell them what's going on, help me brainstorm different tools, help me with your iterations, right? So get like what I'm asking for, and we'll go over it all on Friday. I think that's actually better because I got to go. We'll go over it all on Friday, what my thoughts are with it. But if you guys are down, I would appreciate it. To get to $5, Bill might need more utility in order to couple token value to agent value. Yeah, there will. Yes, I'm working on it. I promise, Stare. We got to 40 cents, so it would be another 10x from there effectively. Well, I guess it's a 12x. It would be a 12x from the all-time high, which would still be a reasonably valued thing in my opinion, especially if we can keep a lot of the stuff locked up. Do you want me to talk to my contacts? Potentially, Solus. Potentially. The problem is that I also can't keep track of all my DMs, and so people asking to help through the DMs doesn't work. They need to come here. They got to come here. They got to talk to me on live, and we'll negotiate stuff on live so everyone can see it. It'll be next level transparency. Your time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully this was worth investing it into. I appreciate all of you guys being here with me. I got to go run to a call. I got to go run to a call. All right. Peace out, guys.